This is a video by Richmond. Today we're working on a Ford Escape, and what we're going to do today will pertain to the 2013 to 2016 models, and we are replacing the front brakes. First thing we need to do is get the vehicle up in the air and remove the front tires. Alright, first thing we're going to do is push that caliper back in a little bit. Okay, now let's take these little plastic caps off. One on the top, one on the bottom, and you should have a 7mm Allen head bolt in there. There it is. And the top one, the hose is in the way a little bit. So we're going to put a longer extension on that. Alright, we need a little clearance there. It's just a little short extension. Okay, there she be. Next thing we're going to do is take this spring out of the way. Get our channel locks in there. I'm using this panel tool to help me remove that. Alright, she's out. Next thing we're going to do is get that caliper out of there. Hang that out of the way. Next thing we're going to do is remove the caliper mount. It's held on by two 18mm headed bolts. There it is. Okay, there she be. Alright, we cleaned the hub here and put a very light coat of synthetic brake grease on there so it won't rust. That rotor was a little bit hard getting off. caliper mount's almost ready to go back in. We cleaned this area right here, and we're going to put just a little bit of our synthetic brake grease on there so things don't overdo it. Because the rotor is going to be right in the vicinity. What you could do is you could spread that a little thin. Just make sure there's no heavy spots. You get that on the rotor, and that would be bad news. Alright, let's put it in. Alright, let's get our caliper mount in there. Okay, now tighten those bolts up. The torque on that, I believe, is 129 foot-pounds, if you're so inclined. So let's tighten those up now. Okay, let's load our outboard pad here. Stay there. Bring the caliper down. Now keep track of your, oh, look at that. See that? The screwdriver just about did all the work for me. Didn't have to compress it at all. Make sure that when you compress your piston, keep an eye on that reservoir up there. You don't want it to overflow. Now, we already cleaned this surface on the piston, and the caliper is nice and clean. So we're going to put a little bit of synthetic brake grease on our contact areas. Alright, now, how about our inboard pad? I got grease on my hands. How about keeping a rag down there, Rich? Pad is in. Did we get any grease on the pad? Nope. Alright. So we can put it in. Looks good. Make sure we get that hose not kinked. Next we want to make sure that our caliper pins are clean, and I'm going to put a little bit of synthetic grease on those so they slide good. Okay, she started, and now we'll do the same thing to the other ones and tighten them up. Don't forget to put those little caps on there, otherwise those Allen heads will fill in with all kinds of stuff. There we go. Okay, now we got to get our spring clip on there. Just barely in there. Okay. This side is all done, so all we have to do is do the same thing to the other side. Then when we put our wheels back on, the most important thing is that we need to pump the brake to get the piston back out and the pads against the rotor. Otherwise, you'll go out there and step on the brake going down your driveway and you won't have any brakes. So put the wheels on, pump the brakes, get the brakes back where they should be, and look for a firm pedal, and that's it. So that's all there is to doing a front brake job on your Ford Escape.